and is irate about what happened, but through that explanation, now the passenger is like, okay, I'll say, all right, by when you think I'm gonna be able to get out of here. So it moves from a total different concept now that they understand the severity of the weather and how it could impact the flight, meaning that you may not maybe able to reach your destination because of this weather. And when they understand that now, their irate mode go down where, oh man, you canceled the flight on me. I'm trying to get here, there, all over the place, right? But now that they have a better understanding, they're asking the question, all right, when do you think we're gonna be ready to go? That's a whole different ball game now. And that was just based on simple communication of making that passenger understand the severity of what's gonna go on if that plane wasn't canceled.
Yeah. So this is a very interesting topic. I think we'll come back to this eventually, probably within another month or so, just to revisit it because I think it's a very um, powerful thing that has to happen. But in relating this to children, and we always ask our authors this one question:
Yeah.
what advice would you give your 12-year-old self that you didn't have when you were 12 from this experience of writing the book?
Um, for me at 12 years old, I would say to myself, whatever I'm packing in that suitcase, right, is what I'm going to open up when I arrive at the destination of where I need to go to. And that is the concept that some of the things growing up in Jamaica at 12 years old, one of the things that I looked at as an adult, it was like, had a lot of fun in Jamaica growing up, right? But for me, I started to look at it, I had too much fun because there were times that I needed to learn some of these things that as an adult, they're going to appear in my life. And I didn't know about these things because we were so engaged in having fun, and which is what you're supposed to do as a child. But at the end of the day, I was like, hey, I could have known more about what life would be like as an adult, where you have to pay bills,
Right.
you have to take care of your family. I mean, these are things that as an adult you now understand that these are adult responsibility that comes, but from a child manner, like they weren't introduced to me at that age. Like I was having a lot of fun, but not in terms like what life is gonna be like as an adult. Like, yeah, you get the concept of where they say, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you say, hey, you want to be this. But it wasn't the reality that our perfect example. As I said, I wanted to be the next Pele, right? So, yes, I want to be the next Pele, but what is the next Pele have to do to really live such a life? Like, I didn't get that living concept. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I wasn't able to pack that in the reality of my 12-year-old suitcase to say that, hey, if I become this Pele, then these are the things that I'm going to unpack in my life. Because number one, being the world best soccer player is not an easy opportunity that you just get up every day and you just live this mellow life.
Right. No, it's a
Um,
hard work. It's hard
Even
labor.
and you can actually see this with some of the rappers. Yeah, they become these big time rappers, but even Biggie Small says the more money you make is the more problems you inherit, right? But oftentimes we just look at it and say, hey, we want to become the big time rapper, but we don't know the ins and out of the what goes on in the background on a day-to-day basis. And this is where I'm saying if I was 12 years old now, I would pack an adult understanding to let me know that, hey, when I become an adult, these are things that are in the background that, yeah, I want to become that soccer player, but what is it that's going to come in the background with it? Um,
Exactly.
there's several adults that have become adults in their career, and because I dealt with bullying, I started to pay attention to the suicide rate that was going on in bullying. And it's like so many people that became who they wanted to become, but it was such a tedious process in maintaining and upholding that they decided to check out.
Right.
Meaning that, yeah, I'm committing suicide, and it's like this is the best way. Even when you hear certain people, they're on drugs just to cope with what they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Like these are things that I didn't know as a 12-year-old child. I just thought I could become the next Pele and this is going to be the wonderful life. So that's what I would actually pack in a 12-year-old suitcase, that to say that whatever you're doing at 12 years old, pack these things and understand that when you reach an adult, these are the things that you're going to unpack when you arrive at your destination.
Oh, excellent. So happy to have you on the show. And everybody check out the Airport Adventure. It's at theairportadventure.com. It's a experiential book, so it's not just a book, it's also an experience. There's an intention behind it. And definitely follow Cleo, also on Facebook and Twitter, at the Airport Adventure. Um, and Cleo, any last words?
Yeah, I just want to thank you for this opportunity, and hopefully, people that are out there that are listening and really paying attention. For me, it's an extensive 20-year journey of searching for something like this where I'm able to say I could go into the community and help the community to arrive at an all new location. But for me, I had to exemplify it for myself. And this is something that I've done for my own life. And I'm now looking at the position where I could say, how could I help someone else to be in that same position where they arrive safely at a whole new destination? And that's why I created the Airport Adventure.
Got it.
It's something that I'm looking to make applicable to someone else's life at this particular time.
Thank you, Cleo. We appreciate you. We'll be back next week with another author. Stay tuned and make sure you read Black.